Let us join one more day, respected dear co-sadhakas, wonderful disciples of the Guru Parampara, devotees dearest of the Lord, and also the mumukshus and jignasus, and the bhaktas of Sanatana Dharma Sevakas too. It should be our everyday's practice once to remember Shruti Mata falling at her feet, telling her that, O Mother, as it is said in Gita Dhyanam, Amba Tvam Anusandadhami. O Mother, I am trying to do Anusandhanam with you to understand what you are teaching and thereby to ascertain what is the goal and means. O Mother, may it happen very soon in me and very strongly and firmly without even any iota of the doubt. Same way, let us ardently salute the Guru Tattva, which we chant in that Brahmanandam shloka, which is equivalent to Parabrahman himself, and from him, as accessible to us, that Guru Tattva comes in the form of Guru Parampara, the chain of the Gurus, one after the other. And in that Parampara only is our Guru, our Acharyas. So let us salute them wholeheartedly. Let us pledge for ourselves that overcoming all inner hurdles and obstacles, we tune to them so that we make them happy by listening and doing too. All the sadhanas told by them, not in their interest but in our interest, for our own growth. So too, these Devata Shaktis which are there in every of our faculties, who are constantly empowering us in spite of misusing the powers given by them. Here also we should pledge to them, here onwards, every powers given by you, O Devatas, we will make use of them for the Dharma, for the Punya, for the Adhyatmika Sadhana, and for worshipping you only. That thought itself gives those Devatas a push. They are there, they are very much there. They are observing us, they are checking our understandings, learnings, growings, maturities, in all these salient aspects of human life. Then the Narayana, the Paramatma, the Ishvara, the Maya Adhipati, the Srishti Sthiti Laya Karaka, we are very tiny, insignificant in this universe, the cosmos. Perhaps, but then we can still apply ourselves, give that application, the prayers to the divine, to be always having a drushti of kataksha vikshana on all of us. From the corner of the eye, even if once he sees us, our life is fulfilled. So we will pledge here also to accept that Ishvara and worship him in whatever the form we like, that of Rama, Krishna, whatever, Shiva, Mother. So that will be received. They will bless. Let us pledge to be in tune. Most importantly, the ultimate of all is the Sakshat Parabrahma Tattva. Our tuning to it is by accepting his presence and trying to become one with him. Now, with all these salutations done, little we prepared our mind, extending that gratitude to everyone, our family members, the other beings around us, all friends, relatives, so many known, unknown people are causes in some way or the other in pushing us to this sacred duty of studying Shastras and enhancing our knowledge, extending that very beautiful, sublime, subtle gratitude to all of them, asking all of them again continue to pour their kindness, compassion on us, with again a promise and pledge that we will make the best use of all of that. every day. These are the ones by which our purity grows, our subtlety grows. In today's few minutes of introduction, before we take up the study of our beautiful Aitareya Upanishad, is this one. Key, as we just now said, in continuation of that only, key, other than the upadhis, I am some different self, pure self, inner self. Becoming stronger in this true knowledge is one of the great accomplishments. Through the study of Shastras, which we are doing, is this happening or not? We have to check. Many a times, what to achieve also is not known. Therefore, how can we aim at doing something to achieve that? Now, let us become clear what we have to achieve is about the existence of your pure inner self in us, apart from the upadhis. Is it happening or not in our study of through our study of Shastra? We have to ensure how strong that acceptance is there about the presence of some very subtle conditioned. Is it happening in us? The unconditional self is there in me, infinite. Whom we call in the Upanishadic language as the Brahman or the Atman or the truth or reality or Sadvastu. Names are many. If that's happening, then all these upadhis, upadhi yukta living life is all is delusory, is only the binding, the cause of bondage, not so necessary all that. This should generate out of this one. Then comes the third most important one, which is the main topic of discussion today. Ki, what is that which is covering this knowledge, which is not allowing this knowledge to practice, to experience it, is our own. So long entertained, so long freedom given, mind only. Again, when I am able to objectify my mind and am able to observe how continuously my own mind is projecting such a web and enchanting me, attracting me, pulling with so many promises of pleasures, happiness at the cost of the pursuit of the real self. If we can really are able to observe that one, you know? Luckily today, what we are going to study in Aitareya, it is coincidental only, is the same topic. That in how many ways our mind is getting expressed, molded, attracting our attention towards it. So much so that we are identifying those so many molds. And I'm just going to my office to work. Suddenly en route some entertainment is there. I just out of curiosity saw that entertainment. That entertainment is so entertaining. Third, I just started staying there only, becoming the entertained in that becoming entertained by that entertainment. I have forgotten that I was going to the office for an important work. Isn't it? It can be entertainment, it can be a sad thing of an accident, a tragedy, a fighting happening there. How many things happen when we go to office, try to go off the road? There'll be so many things. The moment our drushti towards them, they are important. And, by looking at them, by attracted by some of them, we park the vehicle, go there, bargain, purchase. Where were we aiming at heading towards? Towards the office. But so many things we involved in. Anyway, we may go to the office, but it is delayed. These all things again. Next day also I look for और कुछ है कि आज भी कुछ खरीदने या बेचने जो भी. If this example is understood in the same way, it has become a habit for the mind from the vasanas by its own habit, from the world outside, to present in front of us. So powerful ideas, thoughts, emotions, desires, wants, one after the other, it goes on projecting. And we, out of habit, get lost in it. That is what is the meaning of moha, because of which what we studied in the class, that is forgotten. What we have understood is covered. What we have aimed at again is neglected. Something of the world only projected by the mind appears to be so real, we involve in it. It can be a consumption of the object or any of the pancha indriya vastus. It can be something related to the mind's emotion of chalo, let me love that person or get love from that person, or an idea of the intellect, let me do that and achieve that. Is it not happening? All the time we are, other than the self, somewhere else only attending. This is a powerful delusion. And then when you know that this is the delusion, I am continuously, constantly attacked by, like the Hinduism is attacked all the time by the Hindus within also, the outsiders also, with all our innocence of not harming anyone, helping everyone, yet we get attacked. And the very good working central government continuously attacked by the opposition and all, even the neighboring countries, for none of our faults. Very innocently, we are doing our best for our growth and the contribution to the world. But then those things go on. Same way, innocent we may be in our pursuit of the self, but it's so vague. Even that also is being attacked by these various antakaranas expressions. What we are discussing is to recognize that this is what the internal war is happening itself is a great achievement. And then to understand and accept that defeating them is the goal. For that, my intellect and its knowledge about the self as a goal to be reached has to be so strong and so powerful, like the Hinduism. More strong, more powerful we become, then we sustain, we survive. We can withstand to the onslaughts of others. We don't aim at destroying anyone. If they are truths, we can't destroy. If they are not truth, we need not destroy. They themselves get destroyed. But becoming strong from within. So too, the government, when it is strong, the foreign countries as well as internal thing, they are controlled. They are under that, what do you say, yes, subdued and controlled position. When the government becomes stronger, isn't it? I am good, not enough. I am very strong is required. For what? Not to fight or destroy anyone, but to defend myself. Same way, when I strengthen my spiritual knowledge through Shastra study and the outcome of it called as Paramatma Prapti, it becomes very deep, very intense. That is called as burning desire for liberation. What is burning there? Two things. Burning me, that I am not sitting idly going for that sadhana. Second is burning desire is that desire which burns away all other desires. Only this desire will be pushing me in doing those things by which this desire is fulfilled. All our efforts, it may take some more years, some more decades, some more lives, doesn't matter. Keep studying Shastras, strengthen this inner conviction regarding the truth, and never ever take it for granted or lighter that the mind stops attacking us, that the total Maya stops attacking us. ऐसा कभी भी नहीं सोचना. You understand? Opposition will never stop attacking. You do 370, they attack, they put the case. But you are honest, therefore you will get success. Then another one, another one. Attack तो कभी भी नहीं रुकेगा. When we are aggressively powerful, their attacks won't touch us. And keep on walking on that path. Most important is giving more and more time to do those sadhanas in trying which the convictions about our reaching Paramatma are little by little, fulfilled little by little. If the sadhana is not done, Siddhanta Jnana slowly gets faded away. Without Siddhanta Jnana, you can't call it a sadhana at all. It is only a time pass spirituality. Gives little punyam, but not moksha. So, in so many of our lives, without the Siddhanta Jnanam, we were only doing these or that punya karmas. The accumulation of that only made the Lord to bless us with an opportunity of Siddhanta Jnanam. Now, Siddhanta Jnanam, we are started to study. It has to be deeper, it should be very thorough. But this knowledge Siddhanta, unless supported by regular conscious sadhanas. How do we do all that? Only when ascertain ourselves to be an Adhyatmika sadhaka more than any other identity. And I have so many identities. Like I'm an identity now as a speaker of Upanishad, then the speaker of the Yoga Darshanam later on, or between the classes. I have identity of so many things, including the citizen of the globe, citizen of the nation, caste, religion, all of that, identity of some relativities. So many we have. But above all of them, I am spiritual sadhaka. When that identity is very strong, consciously accepted by me, then only I will be able to plan well myself and do the due sadhanas. And the doing sadhana alone adds beauty to that siddhanta. So siddhanta jnanam sadhana. Siddhanta jnanam sadhana. In sticking to these things only that we are freed from the binding karanas. Two things only bind, we have understood. One is mind, second is time. You know? When the mind and time are given for the world binds us. When the mind and time are given for spirituality, spiritually we grow towards liberation in the effort of which the world cannot attack me. And we have no time for the world. Time cannot trouble me. If there is no mind given to the world cannot attack my mind. Isn't it? Think about it. That is why all the rishis decide. Then the time and mind they put only on the God. And the maturity in them is what? They are very conscious not to take anything for granted, that anything in time can attack our mind. So they have put these fencings, put those boundary walls so strongly that they don't invade so much to destroy the entire beautiful kingdom or ashram or edifice of sadhana which is made. Isn't it? So they are aware and their defense system is so strong. See, that is right. 1 year they were in some delusion that they have conquered now. Whatever that system. But that 1 year the other fellows were also planning. One weak moment they saw, just came and attacked. Now they are taking revenge and retaliation. Okay. In the same way, when our defense system is very strong, we can defend these attacks which we can never take for granted. Isn't it? Like our defense system in other places is good. But toward the China border, toward this Pakistan border, for reasons known to all of us, there are supporters, sympathizers of that country are there, including the political parties there, even the police people. Sabko pata hai. That is why Indian government not able to tackle this sensitive thing so aggressively. If the border is totally pro-Indian, कभी का पूरा electrified fencing लगा के finish कर सकते हैं. So these are the problems. In us also, even though we are doing sadhana, please remember, there are sympathies still with the mind. There are sympathies there still with the sense organs. for their desires, demands. Is it like the stupid Indian government? They know the other fellows only eat away the money of the nation and only pray the slogans of other country. जानकर भी उनको support करते रहते. That weakens the whole system, isn't it? Everything, this caste system, the religion system, every one of them weaken only the administration. There are weak policies. Policy makers are weak. Aggressive nahi hai. In our life also, only those few who are very aggressive will just do that encounter at any moment, every moment, when the attack by the terrorist Naxalite type of the mind suggestions, senses suggestions are given. Otherwise, we get succumbed. One soldier falling is equal to in our life one good guna, good sadhana is compromised because of the attack of the terrorist of the negative thought. That way we have to calculate. So the morning the soldier got up to do sadhana 5 बजे, but the terrorist attacks. नहीं नहीं सो जाएंगे आज 2 घंटा. अब सो गए तो that day that soldier is dead only. Like that. So all said and done, in all these things, still we become perfect. We should never have even a little ego that something is done, something achieved. कभी भी नहीं होना चाहिए. प्रयत्न करते रहना and always feel that nothing is done, nothing is achieved. So much time, miles to go. So and put focus on that wanting to do. Pray to the God also to give that thought of humbleness and thought of struggling rather than thought of arrogance and thought of not doing. Like Arjuna, arrogant but not wanting to do. Bhagavan made him humble and do what is to be done. Whole Gita taught that only. So in this way, today's many thoughts assorted. Most important than now is when I become aware that my own mind is suggesting so many things continuously which are opposed to my own spiritual conviction sadhanas. अगर conviction को ही strong होने नहीं दे रहे वो, like at the time of treatment only you are consuming something which is opposite to the health and the treatment, then the treatment itself will not work. So we are just on the path of getting convinced about the ultimate goal. Continuously the mind is attacking and neutralizing it. So when I become aware of it and guard myself, then I am really maturing little by little. One of the very important aspect of guarding ourselves is neither we go to enemy's territory to get killed or beaten up, nor we allow that to enter. Border so strong. No infiltration allowed. And we ourselves also should not. See that Indian policy with Pakistan, very good, very strong. We will not have any diplomatic discussion till the final terrorist is sent to India. Everybody, we'll do that. उसके बाद सोचेंगे. In the same way, from our side, when we don't value or give importance, when from that side also we don't allow it to enter, then there is a peaceful sadhana going inside. Let us stop taking it for granted to enter into that zone which is poisonous for our sadhana. It's the biggest thing. देखो कोई भी छोटे छोटे चीज से हम खिलवाड़ कर सकते हैं क्योंकि उसको हम जीत भी सकते हैं और कोई नुकसान हुआ तो भी very small. But then in spiritual sadhana, with the mind, with the senses, with the objects, with the internal desires and all, we can never take them even once for granted. Because they are so powerful things. And they have destroyed big sadhakas also for many lives. ये थोड़ा fear रहना चाहिए. This care when we take, then we are on the path. Remember, our spiritual sadhana is like our soldiers in the borders all around the country throughout, you know, their service period, and throughout as long as the globe is there, countries are there. Relentless it is. Like one after other generation of soldiers go on coming, protecting the borders. Our point of saying this is, in that cold winter weathers, in the hot desert areas, in the heavy snowfall and raining, through the thorny paths, no paths there, going through the hunger and thirst, no sleep, sleepless nights, restless nights, not in contact with family members. How much they do there, isn't it? Best example. That's why Gurudev says we serve as an army, courage and discipline. Our spiritual sadhana also has to be like that only, isn't it? We have to go through that struggle. In the earlier days, all these are not told because we may get afraid. But later on, these are all the facts, isn't it? Soldiers, when they join with the patriotism for the nation and all, after going through only, they know how tough is the training, but they stick to it. Loving, wonderful people. Then they are posted in most uncomfortable places. They take it as challenge. They look at others. They get inspired. In our life also, we have to look at the great sadhakas who were in the past. Get inspired by them. Then, in that necessary conditions of tough spiritual sadhanas, we have to go through. Every tapasya is necessary. Every upasana is necessary. Every sacrifice is required. It's a huge continuous battle. In the borders, there's every moment battle without battle. Only gun firing is not there. Other than that, as regard the training is concerned, the alertness is concerned, वो तो लगातार चलता ही रहता है. They can't relax. In our life also, साधक has to be alert चौकन्ना चलता ही रहेगा बस. Even after doing all that, still the required amount of maturity to withdraw from the nonsense and to involve totally in the sensible sadhana doesn't come just like that. That also we have to become aware and then know that little more efforts are required. In that way, we have to be relentless. And this mood which we are creating in the class, as much it we carry and become practical in the time and freedom given to us, then the sadhaka in us becoming little strong. Isn't it? How the country should be for its total inner and outer protection. Every soldier is a citizen of the nation, and every citizen of the nation is a soldier. When both of them are integratedly developed, then internal growth will be there. Protection from the outer is there. Like every citizen is a soldier. We have to mold them like that. There are some countries. Israel is one of them. Every individual is soldier. कोई हरा नहीं सकता उसको. In our life also, every activity is spiritual. In that way, we have to mold, guard ourselves. Totally तो बात ये है जो बोल नहीं सकते शब्दों में. Our entire mood all the time should be of sadhana, for which the initiation is done in the classes. Carrying this mood, continuing doing sadhana in the given freedom time is the one. But for that I have to sacrifice my sleep, my all these things. Wow, that is sadhana. They can't go together. Like the children in their LKG, UKG, along with the slate and pencil, they are given some khilona to play, some eatable to eat, but not when they grow to the higher classes. They have to fully attend to the class. The teacher is teaching of the higher sciences subjects. In the same way, if you want to deeply understand, accept, do sadhana to reach the goal, we have to go through those. And again, what are we sacrificing? Only meaningless things to which we gave value and we became slaves. ये तो बात बढ़िया है समझ लो. You give value to your stupid children and grandchildren, you become slave to them. In our house family, we have seen my father never gave a chance to his all brothers or we all. We are always football to him. He went on kicking only. He never allowed us to dominate him and himself becoming slave. And after so many years also, when we remember those days, it's so different it is. Now we give value and we become slave. Example it is. In the same way, we only give value to these things and we become weak and we feel like slave. Then we cry when we are told to do the sadhanas. मेरे से नहीं होगा वगैरह सब. And that day is a golden day. Or it's not one day. It takes months and years where we are becoming aggressive to suppress our own inner enemies whom we have created unknowingly, isn't it? Aggressive enough to suppress our own self created inner enemies of all these weakening aspects. May the Shastra Dhenam, along with telling us this is the goal, along with telling us this is the path or sadhana, should tell us, equip us in all these compulsory understandings. Keeping every one of them in view, let us slowly, steadily, consciously, willingly do and grow in our spiritual life. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rushibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. ॐ भवयेव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलद्धिं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्. ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि. परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तं ब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः. तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवसिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिकप्रगति एकता कल्याण शांति पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापने निश्चित अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ओम श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद शांति मंत्रः. ओम मनस्तावतमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभाभाते तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. ओम वांग मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य महाणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासैः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्ददामि. ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्वतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्. ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ओम पारायणम् अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः तृतीय खण्डः फ्रॉम 10th मंत्र. तदपानेनाजिघृक्षत तदावयत सा एषः अन्नस्य ग्रहः यद्वायुः अन्नायुर्वा एष यद्वायुः स ईक्षत कथं नु इदं मद्रुते स्यात् इति स ईक्षत कथरेण प्रपद्या इति स ईक्षत यदि वाचा अभिव्याहृतं यदि प्राणेन अभिप्राणितं यदि चक्षुषा दृष्टं यदि श्रोत्रेण श्रुतं यदि त्वचा स्पृष्टं यदि मनसा ध्यातं यदि अपानेन अभ्यपानितं यदि शिश्नेन विसृष्टम् अथ कोऽहमिति स एतमेव सीमानं विधार्य एतया द्वारा प्रापद्यत सा एषा विद्युतिर्नाम द्वाः तदेतत् नान्दनं तस्य त्रय आवसथाः त्रयस्वप्नाः अयमावसतोऽयमावसतोऽयमावसथ इति स जातः भूतानि अभिव्यैख्यतु किमिह अन्यं वावदिशदिति स एतमेव पुरुषं ब्रह्म तत मम पश्यतु इदमदर्शमिति तस्मादिदन्द्रो नाम इदन्द्रो हवै नाम तम इन्द्रं सन्तं इंद्र इति आचक्षते परोक्षेण परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः परोक्षप्रिया इव हि देवाः ओम शांति 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 Friends, we are in the study of Aitareya Upanishad with Adi Shankaram Bhashyam. We are into the third Adhyaya chapter. We are discussing the second mantra. Chant that mantra. Yadetad hrudayam manascha etatu sangnyanam agnyanam vijnanam prajnanam medha drushtihi dhrutihi matihi manisha jyutihi smrutihi sankalpaha क्रतुः असुः कामः वशः इति सर्वाणि एव एतानि प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेयानि भवन्ति. Now these adunatana viragins, adunatana mumukshus, adunatana jignasus. Adunatana means in this present context. What is to be taught is over in the second adhyaya. But third adhyaya is a question answer is happening in the meeting. Meeting of whom? Not the realized people, obviously. Those who are wanting to. Therefore, who are they? They are latest people, latest brand of seekers. They are seated discussing. Now, what is the discussion is only of one. Which is the Atman, of whom when we identify through meditation, that we get liberated from all limitations, bondages. Okay. Then the Atman as experienced by us is at various levels. And first the Jagat itself is taken as Atma of Shabda Smarsha Rupana Sugandha. Then the Deha also is taken as an Atman. Then the Indriyas are also as taken as Atman. The Mana also is taken. So how many things are there with which we are identifying with Atmiya Bhava, inexplicable but experiential. I never say that Deha is Atma, but what I live is that Deha Atma only. We don't say every moment that I love and I attach to the wife or husband or children, but our every thought and action is that only. In the same way. So these people started first the Siddhanta Jnana clarity, which is the Atma Bhavitum Arhati, which deserves to be the self with which, when identified, I get moksha. We have come up to the mana level now. Outer Vishavastus can't be the Atma. Deha can't be the Atma. Indriyas can't be the Atma. Up to the mana level we are now. Even mana also has got various moods changing. Then among that moods, which is me, and how can that mind, which is going through so many modifications, can be the Atman? Thirdly, mind with all its modes also is the object of someone else. Therefore, that someone must be the real subject to Atman, which we have to do the Upasana. And that is recognized in this way only. One point. Second is what? Narayana. See, when we were studying Katha Upanishad, if you remember, there was a laya prakriya that was discussed, taught to us. What that laya prakriya which is discussed, thought there, is practically shown to us here in the form of the discussion between these adana seekers. Where, what is the meaning of laya? As we saw that in the Aitareya Upanishad also, what we considered as an Atma, to that there is an Atman. Then shifting our Atma Tadatmya with that Atman, we are freeing our Atma Tadatmya with the grosser one. That becomes the merger of the grosser one in the second level of Atman. That again, when we take it as Atman, it is found to be having another self inside it. Self means support. Self means that without which the other thing cannot be. When that we take it as an Atman, then this Atma Tadatmya with this one goes away. That is the meaning of this one merging in that. What was the shloka in Kathopanishad, if you remember? Yached manasi prajnaha tadyached jnana atmani jnanam atmani mahati niyached tadyached shanta atmani. Prajna, the wise person who studied Shastras, who studied himself, who thoroughly understood where is the bondage, how is the liberation, his sadhanas become specified pakka. What are they? These are the ones. He merges Vani in the mind. Here Vani is the symbol of all the 10 Indriyas. Mind he merges in the Jnana Atma. The Jnana Atma is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. That Vijnanamaya Kosha individual, he merges it in Mahati Atmani. Then that Samashti, Hiranyagarbha. That one, instead of going to Ishvara, bypassing it, Jnanam Atmani Mahatini Achet, Tadyachet, Shanti Atmani. In the recognition of the ultimate Shanta Atma, that Samashti Mahatattva also is transcended. Okay. Another thing, put it is what? Through the Adhara Adheya relation, or through the Karya Karana relation, the Karya is merged in the Karana. The Adheya is merged in the Adhara. The Adhyaropa is merged in the Adhishthana. Listen carefully. Try to grasp the point. That is the entire sadhana. To put it more simply, the discussion which is happening here is pure self alone is there. That alone becomes mind. That alone becomes sense organs. That alone becomes the outer world of objects. Therefore, merging objects in the senses. Objects include the body. By recognizing that without the sense organs, the objects have no meaning, purpose to exist. Same way, the merging the senses in the mind. By knowing the mind is the all self of the senses, in a way, without the mind, none of the sense organs can work. See, this thought given, now we have to take it. Keep on doing so much abhyasa on this that we accept the fact that the mind wanting to see the objects becoming senses. Other than that, there is nothing called as senses independent other than mind. This is the what Bhashyakara, based on the mantras given, is guiding us. He said, no, this is alone. Chakshurindriyam bhutva rupani pashyati. Granendriyam bhutva gandhanaji grati. है ना? श्रोत्रभूतेन शृणोति प्राणभूतेन जिघ्रति वाग्भूतेन वदति जिह्वाभूतेन रसयति. कौन? Mind on. Before that, the other great achievement, grosser, but greater is what? I have nose, therefore the smells are there. I have ears, therefore the sounds are there. Therefore, the indriyas are the Swami, not the objects. Can we break the shackle of our indriyas, becoming slaves to the objects? This is the achievement. It is my indriyas are there, therefore the objects are there. Not other way around that the objects are there, therefore my indriyas are there. I am the Swami, they are the slave, not the other way. This is called the breaking of the delusion, removal of the delusion. All that is in understanding and practice. You know, without the tastes, tongue can remain. But without the tongue, the taste cannot be tasted. Therefore, they do the Upavasa Dikshas. Yesterday we saw Durvasa Rishi doing 1000 years of Upavasa Diksha. He understood. I am Pranamaya Kosha. I am there, therefore the food is there. It's not the other way around. He conquered that 1000 years without food. This is what practice se recognize karna. That the indriyas are there, therefore the objects are there. Thus, having become Swami of the objects by identifying with the indriyas, then involve in the indriya objects to the extent required for survival or sadhana. You understood? Because our goal is not fighting with everybody in the world. We have to transact, trade, and then mutually develop. That's how whatever the country we have fightings, even with Pakistan, still there is other trading is going on. It's not every door is shut. Again, nahi. Whenever the issues are sensitive, we are careful. Isn't it? With Maldives now going on. But still we have a lot of trade with them. Very sensitive this thought to catch. But once we catch it, then we are growing in our wisdom. Thus, the objects of the Bhashya Prasagandha should not command demand the mind through the sense organs. Oh, Allah fast achievement. Now the second one. Second is this one. It is my mind is there because of which senses are there. Mind alone at the apertures level, becoming sense organs and perceiving the world. Here, senses are swamis and the mind is a slave for all non sadhakas. Sadhaka sadhana is to command the senses by the mind. Mind should be the swami. To make us understand it and achieve it. Bhagavan Shankara told this, mind only chakshur bhutva, it is seeing the objects. And again, same experiment. Mind can be without senses, but can the senses be without the mind, the gross senses? सोच लो वो जिनके कारण जो दूसरा रहता है वो कारण is greater than the कार्य. This realization, this understanding is called breaking the shackle of confusion or that's delusion. This is called delusion. We never thought of it, therefore we were always becoming slaves. Now we started thinking we are getting the knowledge. Because of that, the delusion is getting broken. Then the slavery is being dropped or transcended. Ab dekh lo. If it happens in us, then we are in spirituality. Spirituality is not shlokas, not mantras, not just intellectually knowing their meaning. Spirituality is this transcendence of ours, living at the subtler level, transcending from the gross. It has nothing to do with the amount of shastras we study. We may study all shastra of the all Sanatana Dharma, hundreds of thousands, yet we can be still slave to the objects at the senses level. See the trick of the mind and Maya. समझ में एक बात, सारा शास्त्र का ज्ञान है, फिर भी somebody can be only the slave to the tongue of eating the things, है ना, जिह्वा का, कान का गुलाम बनेगा, या इवन शब्द स्पर्श रूप रस का, गंध का गुलाम बनेगा. What a power of Maya, you see. That is why Nayamahatma pravachanena न मेधया न बहुना श्रुतेन लभ्य. ऐसा थोड़ी कहा है श्रुति माता ने श्लोक को कि द आत्मन इज नॉट गेन्ड बाय लॉट ऑफ प्रवचनास, लॉट ऑफ लिसनिंग्स, लॉट ऑफ स्टडीज, लॉट ऑफ मेमोरीज. टू प्रूव दैट, example is our own life. We have some knowledge, 2%, but still are we not still slave to the world? So 2% knowledge हो या 100% हो, स्लेवरी से बाहर आने के लिए साधना करके बाहर आने से ही साधना होता है. जस्ट बाय नोइंग द नॉलेज नथिंग हैपेंस. That is why people are afraid of spirituality, because spiritual knowledge, unless it is practiced, even little of benefit also it will not come. And the practice is that of giving up the gross involvements, enjoyments, which were giving us instant pleasures, which we were enjoying for such a long time. This is how we become bhogi slaves. Like बिना गीजर का गर्म पानी का I can't take bath, बिना पंखे का एसी का I can't sleep. ये सारे स्लेवरीज है. बिना मिर्च मसाला वगैरह I can't have खाना. A human being has become such a bhogi, missing the opportunity of becoming a yogi. This is how it happens. So be careful. Consciousness alone is mind. Mind alone is senses. Senses alone are the objects of world. Yet consciousness at any other level other than the conscious level is conditioned, therefore binding. Therefore, though everything is the conscious Paramatma only, yes, unconditional Paramatma's gaining or identification alone is the hetu of moksha. When it is said everything is in Brahman, then senses also are Brahman, body also is Brahman. But the Brahman at the level of senses, body, mind is binding. Therefore, the Brahman, unconditional by all this, alone is liberating. First, recognizing identity with that, then to the extent required for Vyavahara, play in the Upadhis. Imagine what Gurudev must be doing when he is transacting with the people. Has he fallen to the Jiva Bhava like us, identify the Upadhis, seeking something in the world outside? If no, then how come he is behaving, interacting like us? The food given to him like it is given us, he is also eating. What is the balance? Difference is he has experienced the transcendental self. Staying in that, he is playing in the upadhis. You and I have not yet experienced it, therefore not playing in the upadhis, bound by the upadhis. We can't live a life without these things, but he can live because he is in the self's bliss. Self is independent of all this. है ना? I know that. Whose example was that? राजा अष्टावक्र जी का ही, कहीं का कोई महात्मा जी का. जनक अष्टावक्र है, बहुत सारे स्टोरी. एक स्टोरी में दैट महात्मा को बुलाया राजा ने, gave food to महात्मा, ate everything, full wonderful sumptuous. Then this महात्मा thought, what is the difference between him and me? I also enjoy, he also enjoyed. महात्मा said, चलो निकलते बाहर. 2 किलोमीटर, 3 किलोमीटर, 5 किलोमीटर के आने के बाद द राजा said, क्या कहाँ तक ले जा रहे हो भैया, मुझे वापस जानी है किंगडम. दैट्स व्हाट महात्मा सेड. दिस इज डिफरेंस बिटवीन यू एंड मी. I can enjoy and I can give it up also. Can you? We can't. Why he can enjoy and give it up? Because he is in the bliss of the self, which is past. It is surpassing everything else. Therefore, for him, even this also the reflection of the Atmananda only. It was effortless for him to give up all. He never longed that चलो और तो थोड़ा एक हफ्ता रहता हूँ राज्य में, ये भोगूंगा मैं. Who will do all that? The one who is still at the level of senses, body, mind. But he discovered the bliss of the self. To oblige the Raja, he came. Not that he wanted the kingly bhoga. And all this will go only in the pursuit of Paramatma Ananda, we reach it. Till we reach it, these things keep on tempting, attracting us. So everything is Brahman, yet the Brahman pure alone is the liberating factor. Therefore, experience the Brahman is the way, the only way. Thereafter, play. Without that, knowing the self, Brahman Atman, at the Upadhi level, we are only slaves. Like before India got freedom, so much was doing, but under bondage we were. Now also we do so much, but freedom now. It is our country. This topic, all that is that. Tasmad sarva karana vishaya vyapara kam idam karanam sarva upalabdhi artham upalabdhu. I am the upalabdha, upalabdhu. For my upalabdhi, the karanam is mana. Mana alone is doing so many vyaparas through so many indriyas. Now, other than using the indriyas, mana itself also has got going through various its own modifications. Before that topic is taken, as we just now said, remember, Paramatma, Hrudaya mein rehne wale, mana, indriyas, all are one in different grades. To prove that, 2 or 1 quotation is taken to prove each one of them. We have less time even today also for that. See. 5 minutes I'll take and conclude it. What is that Kaushitaki Upanishad's quotation to prove this above point that the Hridaya, the Mana, the Indriyas are one at different levels. This is कि प्रज्ञया वाचम समारोह्य वाचा सर्वाणि नामानि आपनोति. प्रज्ञया वाचम समारोह्य vacha namani apnoti. Means what? The pure prajna alone becoming the vani and speaking. We have to add the in-between thing which is not said here. What is that? The mind. So mind is omitted there as if said that the prajna alone is becoming vani and speaking. But vani cannot speak without the intermediate thing called as mind. It will not be called as speech. It's called a blabbering. Like nidritavat prajalpaha. The person who talks in sleep is not valued because his mind is not there. Or I was. Some children say, even elders also नींद में सपने में आता है उनको. मतलब नींद में, not निद्रा, they are in nidra, not in स्वप्न जागृत, but some words they blabber. निद्रितवत प्रजल्पः कहते हैं उसको. अस्तीतियो वक्ति न तस्य मोहः विनिर्गतो निद्रितवत प्रजल्पः. That's a great sloka in Vivek Chudamani. So therefore, प्रज्ञया वाचम समारोह्य नामानि सर्वाणि नामानि आपनोति. The consciousness taking the position of the speech, speaking many things. But speech cannot function without the intermediate stage of mind. You have to add it, even though it is not said. Shruti Mata is testing us. Same way, Pragnaya Chakshu Samarohya Chakshusha Sarvani Rupani Apnoti. So through Pragna, mounting the steed of the eyes, all the forms are seen. Therefore, the Pragna taking the position of mind, then taking the position of the eyes, then seeing the forms. This is how we have to understand. Upanishad itself is saying. We explained yesterday how the consciousness in me alone is becoming mind, alone becoming indriyas and seeing the world. So prajna and indriya ekata proved here. We have understood by bringing the intermediate factor, the mana, because it's required. In that, what we said, prajna alone became mana alone became indriya, and it is seeing the world. One set of quotation, that way to say. Another one is what? Prajna is not brought. Straight away, mana and indriyas are spoken. What is it? Manasahi eva pashyati. Manasahi shrunoti. Okay, by the mind only seeing. By the mind only he is listening. Another Upanishad says, Vrudharanyaka. But how can the mind see or listen? In Jagrata Avastha, without the senses. Okay, mind only becoming the eye and seeing, becoming the ear and listening. Again a question, how can the mind jada independently become the eye and see, become the ear and listen? Acha theek hai, there is prajna behind. So in this quotation, prajna and indriyas not said. Mind only is seeing, mind only listening said. But you have to add that without the prajna behind, mind cannot be chetana yukta to know, and without the eye, mind itself cannot see. So what is the total thought? Prajna alone is mind alone is indriya. By this, what are we doing? We are merging indriya in the mana, we are merging mana in the prajna. In our understanding. On the seat of meditation, same is done. In that doing, when the attention on the mind, senses we are not aware of, the senses are merged in the mind. When the attention is on the pure prajnanam brahma, then the mind we are no more aware of, that is meaning of mind merged in the pure consciousness. That is what is the ultimate thing we have to achieve on the seat of dhyana. And that the prajna is not objective, it is my own subjective consciousness. From that standpoint only said, I alone am becoming the entire world through the mind, through senses, etc. More subtle. We just started this subtle journey now. Continuously do this, then the knowledge becomes stronger about these subtle things. Then we understand everywhere there is a consciousness. Among that consciousness, some places there is antakarana. In that antakarana, some place there are indriyas. And in those indriya darshana, some places there are objects seen. These are very metaphysical, sublime, mystic knowledge it is. Not the obvious knowledge which we were doing earlier so far by trying to know the meaning of the words and getting satisfied at the intellectual level. No. Infinite consciousness, at corner of it there is some antakarana, samashti. In that antakarana infinite, there is one corner, there is indriyas. For those indriyas, some corner there are some forms to see. All the Shabda Sparsha Rasagandha. In sadhana, we merge objects in senses, senses in mind. Mind is whole antakarana, that in the pure conscious self. That's the meaning of Yached Vangmanasi Prajna. That is a Gita. Indriyani Parayanyahu, Indriya Paramanasa, Manastu Parabuddhi, Yo Buddhe Paratastu Saha. How to conquer desires? Buddhe Param Buddha. When you recognize your identity with that which is beyond your antakarana, then only the desires can be conquered. That's the example of that king. Is establishing the self which is beyond buddhi, and all the desires of senses and all operational only at the antakarana level. They have no reach beyond that. He has reached beyond it. Therefore, those never touch him. We have not reached the self. We are at the antakarana level, propelled by vasanas. Therefore, continuously the desires come at the intellect level, at the mind level, at the sense level. In trying to fulfill them, all gymnastics we keep on doing. That's called it karma, karma phala. देखो थोड़ा थोड़ा दिमाग खुल रहा है बदौलत पिछले 4 साल का सुनने का नॉट अदरवाइज it's a beginning. If you leave it here, this knowledge also, which was very vague, will be forgotten back to the world as reality. No pursue, more continuous, knowledge starts becoming deeper. When the knowledge becomes deeper, all the ignorance created delusions, they start getting fading away, burnt away. That knowledge, when practically also done, meditation every day, Subhasham, experience also starts coming. This is how everyone became Mahatma, whoever became Mahatma means knower of the self. He is knower of self, it's not a Mahatma. We call him as Mahatma because he is recognized with that Atma which is everywhere there. For us, he is a Mahatma. For him, he is a Samanya Atma because Atma is one without second. We call Gurudev Tapon Maharaj as Mahatmas. They don't call. They say, I am that self which is everywhere. So every one of them traveled this way. Okay. Now, next one, see, Ityadi. Tasmat, therefore, Hridaya Manovachyasya Sarvopalabdhi Karatvam Prasiddham. Therefore, Hridaya, which alone is becoming Mana, which alone is becoming Vani. Because of this, Sarva Upalabdhi Karatvam, all the objects are perceived. Hridaya means your consciousness, self. Self as mind, mind as senses are the karana because of which all the upalabdhi of the Shabda Sparsha or Rasagandha are happening. In this, one more thing is that without the Hridaya Rupi Atma, without the mind, without Indriya, Shabda Sparsha Rasagandha cannot exist. They have no value, meaning. Like without a person to live, what is the use of the house constructed? See that in China last 5 years. Lakhs of big apartments are made. Nobody occupying them. Just like that they are. No, एक बुलडोज कर रहे हैं वो लोग. ये बंदे नहीं तो क्या करोगे? Therefore, firmly abiding in this knowledge that it is me the subject because of whom the objects are there. Therefore, I will not be slave. Conquer this aspect, master of the objects. Then inside, from the senses to the mind, from the mind to the conscious self level. Okay. Another thing, कि तदात्मकः च प्राणः है ना, तदात्मकः च प्राणः यो वै प्राणः सा प्रज्ञा या वै प्रज्ञा स प्राण. Here prana is samashti hiranyagarbha. Then the prajna is the individual self. So from the hiranyagarbha, the individual self is working, and because the individual self working inside, let us call it as buddhi, the mind is working. Because the mind, the senses are working. Here the individuality is merged in the prana named total. That's what Jnanamatmani Mahati Niyachet in our Katha Upanishad. The individual Antakarana merged in the total Antakarana. Jivai Prana Saprajna. Here the Prajna is not the pure self. The individual intellect, we talk it as. Thus, by saying this quotation, and another subtle truth is revealed that we, the individuals, with our intellectual individual, necessarily have to be in contact with the total intellect. From that only all the knowledge is flowing to us. Whatever I am speaking to you, मेरा थोड़ी है, मेरे बुद्धि का नहीं है वो गुरु परंपरा से मिला. So that whole thing is called total intellect. That way, body cannot be independent apart from the total Pancha Mahabhutas. So too the senses cannot be independent apart from the total senses. In this way, individuality also has to be merged in total. The merger is what? Recognizing that it has no independent existence. Devaluing the individuality, working for the totality. This is what Etavarnamaya Mahatmano Sankramya, etc. in Aitareya Upanishad. So, in the totality, what is the topic we are discussing here is the conscious self alone is prajna, the prajna is antakarana, alone is indriyas. Indriyas are seeing the world. Therefore, which is the Atman? Not the world of Shabda, Sparsha, Rasagandha, then not the Indriyas, then not even the Mana. Only the beyond the Manavala, which cannot be objectified like the Mana. That is why it is Atman. If you objectify it, it becomes Anatmana. So tomorrow, to ascertain this thing, that something other than the mind is the Atman, how the mind also is going through so many modifications, telling us that this is also moldable mind, moldable, this mind, therefore this cannot be the Atman. Thus, knowing or trying to know that the real Atman, this mind is merged in it. Some subtle thoughts will be there. Tomorrow we'll study that topic. Beautifully tell me how many modes the mind goes through. In all of them, the prajnanasya namadeyani, through the mind expression. See, I alone become speaker through the mouth. I alone become listener through the ears, which I conscious self. But in between, there are the layers of the buddhi, the mana, and the indriya. This was discussed by us even in Yoga Darshanam also when we were discussing Prakriti and Purusha. Drashta Drishya Sanyog में ये बात आया था वहां. Let us see tomorrow. Om 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 Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो परम ऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुति मात्रे तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु.